This After Effects tutorial is made possible by artbeatsexpress.com. Create a free Artbeats Express account today and receive free high-quality broadcast resolution stock media content. Content includes footages, images, After Effects templates, sound effects, and more. Click the link in the description below. Hey guys, what's up? This is Nikhil from themotions.com and welcome to this brand new After Effects tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to create this kind of really clean and professional looking corporate slideshow into After Effects. Now, it can be a bit long tutorial, so grab a coffee or something, sit back, relax and enjoy. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video and get started. Alright, so let's go and create a new composition, and this is going to be our main comp. So I'm going to rename this to main, and let's make the width to 1920 and set the height to 1080. 30 frames and 10 seconds should be good enough, and I'm going to hit on OK. So this is our main composition. So let's create a new composition, and this is going to be our animation comp where all the animation is going to take place. So I'm going to set the height to 400 and make this semi. Now you can name it whatever you want to. I'm just going to name it whatever I want to. So yeah, so just click on OK. So here we have our main comp and the semi comp. This is the previous composition. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and start setting up our compositions. So I'm going to go into semi and create a new solid by hitting Ctrl Y on the keyboard, and I'm going to name this BG. You can name it again whatever you want to and set color to whatever you want to. I'm going to just leave it at white and hit OK. Then let's add a fill. Let's make it kind of a dark blue, something like that. And yeah, and let's go to our main comp and drag in our semi composition, that is our animation comp, and then we can just align this to the bottom. So just align this right over here. Now if you don't have this align tab, you can just go into Windows and select the aligned option. So there we have it. Then let's create a new composition for our image. Now you can also use an image or a footage according to your requirements. So I'm going to use an image for this. So let's name this as footage and set this to 1080. There we go, and just drag it in to our main composition. Then we can go ahead and add an image. So I'm just going to go right over here, and here I have a really nice image. So I'm just going to drag it in. Maybe I'll just scale this down a bit, somewhere around there. Go into main, and there we have our image. Then let's go to our animation composition, that is the semi one, and let's add the grid. And let's first of all set up or create our really minimal looking background. So now you can leave it at a really kind of a blank color, but if you see our main comp, you can see we have this really nice looking grids and an overlay as well, which makes it look a bit more nicer and give that minimal feel to it. So let's go ahead and create these things. So I'm just going to go to our semi composition, hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid. This is going to be our BG_01. So I'm just going to leave it white and add a fill, or we can just copy this fill by hitting Ctrl C, select the layer and hit Ctrl V. So we have our fill. Then I'm going to hit S to bring down the scale properties and unlink this and change the height to 30%. So this is going to be our overlay. So I'm just going to select both of them and bring down the opacity to 70%. There we go. You can just align this at the bottom like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, or maybe I'll just duplicate this one. We don't need to create a new. And let's just rename this to BG02. Then hit S to bring down the scale properties again and set this to 70%. Then we can just align this at the top. Then let's add a grid. There we go. And just manually, I'm just gonna make it somewhere on there. Set the border to 2 and change the opacity down to maybe 10. Yep, that looks pretty good. Maybe a bit more like so. Yep, that is looking really nice. Now let's go ahead and animate them. So to do that, I'm just gonna go to 1 second, select both of the layer and hit P to bring down the position properties. Click on the stopwatch to create a keyframe. Go to the very beginning of the comp and let's select this one and drag this out by holding shift. Select this one and drag this out. There we go. So we have our basic animation. Just select the keyframe and hit F9 to ease them. Go to graph editor and drag this one like so. So it's gonna start animating in really fast and then end really nicely and smoothly. So if I just preview it, you can see really nice looking animation, pretty simple. Now let's go ahead and start with our text. So first let's go ahead and create this, the left side of the text. So you can, write in anything you want. I'm just gonna stay relevant with this text and type in the same thing. So before we start typing, let's create a new composition for our text, and this is gonna be T_01. So this is gonna be our text 01, and then we can change the height to 100 pixels and hit OK. So this is our text composition. So let's go ahead and type in a text. So let's just select my text tool and type in trending new. And we can just align this in the center like so. Change the color probably to white and change the font to Unisans, one of my favorite font. And then maybe I'll increase the spacing a bit to, let's say, 50%. That looks pretty good. And let's animate the text. So I'm gonna go to 1 second, select the text layer, hit P to bring down the position properties, create a keyframe, go back to the beginning of the comp and just drag this up. Maybe I'll just keep it at 1 second and 10 frames. Yep. Select the keyframes and hit F9 to ease it. Go to graph editor and do the same exact thing by just dragging it right over there and a bit right over here. So we have our basic smooth animation for our text. Really simple and easy. Then we can go into our main project window and just select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Go into that composition by just double clicking on it. Then we can change the text to something like design. There we go. So now we have our two text ready. There we have it. So now what I can do is I can go into our semi composition, that is our animation comp, and drag in both of the text composition just like so. And I want them to start from 1 second, so I'm just going to drag it at 1 second. Or maybe I'll just make them start from 15 frames. So you can start from right over here. Yep. Then we can just align it. So I'm just going to turn on my title action save. So you can just go right over here and turn on the title action save. And we can start positioning our text. So I'm just going to drag it right over here. We'll just zoom in to be a bit more precise. And just place it right over here. Take the second text and just place it maybe around. Maybe I'll just align this in the center like so. So there we have it. So far so good. Now let's go ahead and create our third text, that is the simple and bold. So let's go and create a new composition, and this time I'm going to change the height to 50 pixels and change this to text underscore O3, that is TO3, and hit OK. And create a new solid by hitting Ctrl Y on the keyboard. Let's just name this BG, and let's add a fill. Just make this kind of a blue like that, and hit S to bring down the scale properties, and then I can just scale this down like so, or maybe I'll just change the anchor point position and just scale this down like so. Depending on how long the text is, I'm just going to set it to, let's say, 40%. Yeah, that should be good. And type in our text. So it's going to be, what is it? What was it actually? It was simple and bold. So just type in simple and bold. So there we have it. I'm just gonna change the height of the text to 40. 40 is too small, I guess. Maybe 45. Make this, change the font to kind of a bold font like so, and let's align this like so, maybe a little bit right over here. There we have it. So let's just go ahead and start placing this text. So I'm just going to go into semi and drag in our text 3 just right over there, and we can just position it, just turn title action safe and just position it right over there. Yep, that looks really nice. Or maybe I'll just make this a bit up. That's somewhere around there. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. So now we can go into our text 3 and just animate this. So I'm going to animate the scale and the position of the text, scale of the solid layer and position of the text layer. So I'm going to hit P for the position properties, select this one, and hit S for the scale properties. Go to 1 second 10 frames, create a keyframe by hitting on the stopwatch, go to the very beginning and bring the scale down to 0, and bring the position back and position them out of the frame like so. So now I can just select the keyframe, hit F9 to ease them, go to graph editor and just drag it right over there. So now we have our really nice and clean looking animation. You can also turn on motion blur if you want to, makes it look a bit more nice. Yep, that is looking pretty cool actually. So I'm just gonna stick with this and let's see how it looks into our main comp. So yeah, that is looking actually really nice. I'm gonna make it start with our text. So I'm just gonna drag it right over here. So let's preview it, and as you can see, it looks really nice. Maybe I'll just displace the animation of the third text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the text to animate in after 10 frames, so somewhere around there, and select this, and maybe I'll just drag it right over there. So first the solid comes in and then the text like so. Yep, that looks a bit more interesting. Yep, that looks really nice. So far so good. So let's go ahead and create our fourth text, that is this one. So I think I forgot the composition size for this one. I'll just pretty quickly check this. I'm gonna hit Ctrl K to check the composition size. It's 200, 580 into 200. So I'm gonna do the same. Sorry for that. Just gonna close this up and create a new composition, that is 580 into 200. Yep, that's the comp. So set this to TO4. There we go. Let's type in our text. In this case, I'm just gonna go into this one and just copy this one. So I'm just gonna select this, hit control, or maybe I'll just select this text, hit control C, control V. And let's see if I have any animation. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Yep. So there we have it. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is, here we have our text, which is set from 10 frames. Just gonna put it back right over there. And go right over here at 10 frames. Hit P for the position properties. Or maybe I'll just set this to maybe 1 second and 10 frames. Create a keyframe, go to 10 frames and just drag this down like so. Then we can just select this, hit F9 to easy ease them, go to graph editor and drag it like so. See, looks really nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an overlay. So to do that, I'm going to hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid. Let's just name this overlay. There we go. And bring down the opacity to 10 maybe. 10 is too low, maybe 50. And then what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to animate the overlay as well, but we can also parent the overlay to the text animation. So what we can do is actually just select this, go to, let's say we have 10 frames, or maybe at the very beginning, bring down the overlay out of the frame like so, and parent this. Let's just animate the position of the overlay instead of parenting it. So hit P to bring down the position properties, go to somewhere around there and just bring this up like so. So it's not, necessary to create this kind of an overlay, but just to make things more interesting and look really nice. See, looks really nice. Give a little bit of interesting movement to this thing. There. Yep, that is looking really nice. We can just change the color by just going into a semi-comp and just copying the fill. So hit Ctrl C to copy it. Go to text 4, just close this up, and Ctrl V to paste it. Then go to our animation composition, that is the semi, and drag in our fourth text. There we have it. And let's place this into the position that we want to. So I'm just going to keep it right over here. So now we should have something like that. Looks really interesting. Maybe I'll just increase the opacity of the overlay a bit more to 70. Yep. Now we need to create this kind of a square animation, which is actually really simple to create. So to do that, I'm just going to go to our semi comp, or the animation comp, you can say. I think I should have named this as the animation comp instead of semi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the text 4 and double click on the rectangular tool. It's going to create a shape for us, and just change the stroke to, let's say, maybe 10 or maybe 12. Yep, let's make this 15, man. Yeah, and this is going to be our stroke, so I'm just going to rename this to stroke. Then we can just go ahead and add a trim parts, and now we can animate our trim path. So I'm just set this to 0. Go to very beginning of the composition, create a keyframe by hitting on the stopwatch, go to right over there, or maybe 25 frames, and set this up to 100. And I'm going to also offset this a bit, so I'm going to set So I'm going to create a keyframe on the offset one as well. Go right over there and set this to 45. So we have a little bit of movement to this thing. Looks really nice. Select the keyframes, hit F9 and go to graph editor and create kind of a peak like so. So we have a really nice movement. You see, looks really cool. So if I just go into our animation comp and preview it, you can see we have a really nice looking animation. It's a bit too fast, I think, so I can just, drag them out like so. So yep, now it looks a bit more nice. So far so good. So let's go ahead and see. There we are done with our animation. So now if I go back to our main composition, you can see we have our main animation done. Really nice, you can see. So now let's go ahead and animate the image and our animation comp. So let's select them both and hit P to bring down the position properties. Go to, let's say, 1 second and 10 frame. Click on the position stopwatch. We need to go to very beginning and then we are going to drag them out. We can just select the keyframe, hit F9 to ease them. Go to graph editor and then we can just, so you can see we have a really nice looking animation. Now what we need to do is, as you can see, as it comes in, our basic animation already starts before our animation composition reaches at or enters the frame. So to fix this, what we can do is, let's go into a semi-comp and just drag them back to, let's say, 1 second or maybe 20 frames. Yep. Let's go to main comp and let's see now. Or maybe I just need the background, so I'm just going to go to our animation comp and let's drag the background right over there. Yep, now we have a really nice looking animation. As you can see, really simple and easy to create and looks really nice. Now you can go ahead and add some elements to this, like we can also add a scale animation to the footage. So to do that, I'm gonna hit S to bring down the scale properties, go to right over, I guess, 1 second, hit on the stopwatch to create a keyframe, go to, let's say, 5 seconds depending on how long your comp is, and just increase the scaling to, let's say, 105. So now we'll have a little bit of movement instead of this image staying still. You see, it's really minimal but looks really nice. You can also go ahead and add small little elements, like if you see in this composition, I have added a stroke right over here just to, kind of give that minimal look. So to do that, what you can do is just go into our main comp and just create a stroke, basically like so. Make this maybe around 10 and and just parent this thing to our semi, that is the animation comp. There we have it. Really easy and really simple. So that's it for today. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and if it was, don't forget to subscribe, comment and like, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care and thank you so much for watching, guys, and don't forget to stay raw, stay creative.
I really think you should.